Welcome back to day 6. I'm so proud of you for sticking it out this long. You are so incredible. Give yourself some love and compassion for making it to day 6 of the journey. The earlier days in any journey or anything new that you embark on are always the hardest. So the fact that you're here today, I'm so impressed and I'm so grateful. Keep up the great work. So in today's video, we're going to talk about cognitive self-care, which is just a really fancy word for our thoughts, our thinking patterns, and where we're at in our headspace. So cognitive self-care is all about being mindful of where our thoughts are. Are we having more positive thoughts? Are we having more negative thoughts? Do we feel like we're on autopilot and we're not even aware of what thoughts we're having? So that self-care is bringing that attention back to your mind and asking yourself, what's going on here and what am I experiencing in my headspace and my thought process I'm kind of navigating. So there's so many different ways that we can check in with our headspace, and there's so many different forms of self-care. So an easy way for self-care with our thoughts is positive affirmations. So affirmations are kind of like your mind's way of being your own cheerleader. So that can look like, I can take the day on with ease, or I am happy, I am healthy, I am positive. And what that actually is doing, there's so much science behind it. You know, we see all over social media, Pinterest, Instagram, everywhere, right? Positive affirmations, but there's actual science behind the reasoning why positive affirmations are so effective and why they work. So it actually, what happens is every time we say a positive affirmation, we are rewiring our brain. And what that means is if your brain is naturally wired to think negative, which all of our brains are, that's kind of what happens when we live in a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. And now we fast forward thousands of years, our brain hasn't had enough time to kind of switch those epigenetics, which is just kind of the way that our brain is wired. So our brain is wired to think negatively. So we have the power and the control to rewire our brain to think positive. And how we can do that is positive affirmations, right? I am strong, I am motivated, I am helpful, I am kind, I'm a good person. All of those positives with the I am. When you say I am, you're owning it, you're acknowledging that you are this experience, whatever you're feeling in. And that is something you can do to kind of help your cognitive self-care. And so a really great question to ask yourself for your cognitive self-care is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? And depending on how you answer that will give you a really great indicator of where your headspace is at. Is it seeing through the lens of negative, or is it seeing through the lens of positive? Negative thoughts and positive thoughts aren't good or bad. They just give us a little bit more information of where our headspace is at. And so you can ask yourself, do kind of like a thought check throughout the day. Where are my thoughts? You can always pick a color. Let's say the color is green, and every time you see that color, you can ask yourself, okay, where are my thoughts? What's happening? So how you can encourage more self-care is doing things that's going to help your brain think positive. So you could look at photos from vacations, photos from holidays, photos just randomly from your past, and look at that and say, what was a positive experience that I had through that? And this is not to be confused with positive toxicity, which is where you're forcing positive emotions on negative experiences. This is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is being mindful that our brains are naturally wired to think negatively, so we have to work twice as hard to have them think positively. And so our brain is like a garden, and weeds are negative thoughts and the positive thoughts are like flowers. And so every single day we have to nurture and tend to our garden. So the reflective question is, what do you do currently for your cognitive self-care? Do you already have a practice of positive affirmations? Are you incorporating gratitude? Are you doing kind of that headspace check where you're just asking yourself, where are my thoughts? Where is my headspace at? So those are all really great questions that you can ask yourself when we're talking about our thoughts and our headspace. And so again, this is not to shame anyone or to make anyone feel bad about their experience. This is just to give us a great baseline of where your headspace is at. So is that glass half full or is it half empty? So the inspired action is to do one thing today that could nurture your cognitive self-care. So that might be make a positive affirmation. That might be writing a gratitude. That might be asking yourself throughout the day, where is my headspace at? And just acknowledging where your headspace is at and acknowledging where you're at in that kind of spectrum of headspace and thoughts, and reminding yourself that you have the power to rewire your brain. So why not rewire it to think more positively, right? Naturally, our brain is wired to think negatively due to the hunter-gatherer lifestyle, that due to the nature that the brains were wired to survive in the world. And so fast forwarding to present day, we have to be mindful of where our headspace is at. So again, Alyssa Cotten, I'm so grateful that you're on this journey. You can follow me here on Instagram and tag me in today's video. I'm so grateful that you have made it to day 6, and I can't wait to see you after a whole week, day 7, in tomorrow's video. Take care and have a great day.